Here at Beyond Strength Performance with Chris Merritt, the founder and owner of Beyond Strength Performance here in Sterling, Virginia. He's got an amazing facility here. He's doing a lot of great things with everyday people, athletes, and everyone in between. And just want to talk a little bit about his business and what he's doing.
All right, I'm Chris Merritt. Like you said, Beyond Strength Performance. This is the Nova location. We're in Northern Virginia, right near Dulles Airport. We're going to show off the 360 a little bit with the heart rate monitoring system. So this is something that we've been experimenting with for a few months, actually using the Polar system, and we're now using what's called MyZone is the brand. What we've been experimenting with is instead of just doing times, what we use is like finishers. So after a strength session doing high intensity interval training, we've been messing around with the idea of instead of doing, say 20 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest, hoping to get an athlete or an individual to work really hard, having complete rest, and go a few rounds. We can pinpoint it now by asking them to go to set percentages of heart rate, and then ensure that they have incomplete recovery by saying, if you're going to work to 85%, we're only going to have you recover until you're at about maybe 75% and go again. We've had some awesome findings. We found out that with some people, we were maybe giving them a little bit too much. With others, we found out they can be somewhat passive and, I just gotta get through this for 20 seconds and they'll just get through it. And some of our guys, it's been a real kick in the pants to get them moving to hit, goals like 85, 90% of their maximum heart rate through finishers. So I guess what we're gonna do here, Paul, you just want me to?
Yeah, we'll check it out. I mean, right now you're at 45% because you've been talking and hanging out. And we'll see, why don't you point out some key metrics on that screen.
So the middle number is the percentage of my maximum heart rate that I'm working at. The lower left-hand corner, if you can see it right now, it says 91. That's my current heart rate. The other two numbers aren't really going to do a whole lot with this, but those are the main two numbers here to worry about.
Okay, so we'll just get after a little quick circuit here and see what happens.
What I'll do is I'll kind of demonstrate how we use it for a finisher. So I'll work up to 85%. And I'll recover to 75 and go like 2 rounds and just show you.
Sounds great.
What that looks like. Okay?
Sounds great. There you go.
So it's common that when you hit your goal, you keep climbing. So I hit 85 and tried to stop right when I saw it. Now I'm at 92. So with our traditional programming, let's say that, that may have been, I didn't pay attention to the time, but maybe around 20 seconds.
About 20, 25 seconds.
So with our traditional programming, we maybe would have said, go again in 20 seconds, but you can see we're probably 15 to 20 seconds in, and I haven't even gotten back down to my goal heart rate, so.
And I think that's one of the things that's interesting for me, Chris, is that without heart rate monitoring, for many years, people have really been training in the blind.
And yeah, you don't know what you're doing. And I'm not saying that way doesn't work, because we got phenomenal results doing that.
Yes.
But we've had some awesome stuff happen with this. So I'm going to switch up my stance.
Okay. Yeah, so second round.
And then same thing, so however many rounds we would have them go for. And really, we can mix this in. Obviously, you can think of endless ways that we can use this of going, here we could have picked one pattern, done that to 85, recovered to even just 80. We recovered to 75. We could have gone to a different pattern altogether. We could have gone to a different thing. And like I said, this is just what we use for finishing. This isn't really the way that we're training the whole time.
Absolutely.
So.
No, it's just demonstration purposes, just trying to understand the innovation and the work you're doing with the heart rate and
we'll work on
tools like Surge.
Power and what we call like anti-core training in the beginning. And then we'll phase into more of our strength training, traditional like assistant strength training with that. And then we use finishers mainly for, essentially if you're familiar with EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, just check out the metabolism at the end, and then depending on the athlete and the demands of their sport. We don't get real sport specific, but we will look at, coming up closer to competition, ramping things up.
And you've just been around Surge for just a few weeks here as far as checking it out. What are your initial thoughts in regards to the efficiency, effectiveness, and how you can kind of plug and play this kind of tool?
When you brought it by, you had mentioned how there's no real learning curve to it, and that's definitely what we experienced in the last 2 weeks. We had the papers, wherever we had the papers, we're sitting on it, people check it out. But most guys, obviously, we're attached to an MMA facility. So a lot of the fighters would walk in and just like anything new that pops in, like, oh, what's that? Almost all of them would get on here and just naturally come on and just start shadow boxing and stuff on it. Can't really screw that up. And then we would just show them different things, like getting into circles or like push-pull. And there's nothing that we showed anyone that they couldn't figure out. Whereas when you're teaching kettlebells, when you're teaching even ropes, there's a lot of things that we use in finishers that there's a little bit of a learning curve to, and we just didn't really experience that with this.
Very good. Well, hey, thanks for your time, Chris.
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
appreciate it, man.